Theranos. Every scam starts with a great pitch, and Theranos had the best one. Save lives, skip the needles, and pretend the machine actually worked. Now imagine that, but worth $9 billion. In 2003, a 19-year-old Stanford dropout named Elizabeth Holmes decided she would change healthcare forever. Her idea was a shiny gray box called the Edison, a toaster-sized gadget that, she claimed, could run hundreds of blood tests from a single drop. No needles, no hospitals, just sci-fi magic in your bathroom. It sounded like something Tony Stark would have built if he'd majored in marketing instead of engineering. Investors couldn't resist. Henry Kissinger joined the board. Walgreens built mini testing centers everyone believed except the scientists who were quietly trying not to scream. Inside Theranos, chaos ran the show. The Edison leaked, jammed, and gave results that looked like guessing. Employees whispered, machines broke, and Holmes just smiled harder, lowered her voice, and promised another breakthrough was days away. Then in 2015, the Wall Street Journal crashed the party. The miracle box wasn't testing blood at all. Real samples were being sent to regular labs. By 2018, the company was dead, investors were broke, and Silicon Valley had its biggest case of fake it till you make it, minus the making it. Wirecard. It was like Black Mirror's nosedive, everyone pretending things were perfect while everything was quietly on fire. Lacey Pound had her ratings, Wirecard had fake billions. For years, Germany called it the pride of tech, a payments giant supposedly moving billions for online shops and casinos. CEO Marcus Braun wore turtlenecks, talked about innovation, and acted like Elon Musk from Temu. Investors loved it. Even regulators defended it like it was a national treasure. Then in June 2020, Ernst & Young auditors dropped the punchline. 1.9 billion euros was missing. Not misplaced. Missing. Braun claimed it was in the Philippines. The Philippines responded, dude, what? Turns out Wirecard's profits were made up. Its partners were imaginary, and its cash existed only in PowerPoint. The company imploded in days. Braun was arrested. The COO vanished like a bad Tinder date, and Germany's reputation for efficiency took a long coffee break. It was like Silicon Valley, but instead of funding the next app, everyone just lost their savings. Luckin Coffee. Imagine if Succession was set in a coffee shop and everyone was faking their sales instead of family loyalty. That's Luckin Coffee. Founded in 2017 by Jenny Qianjia and Charles Lu Zhengyao, it set out to beat Starbucks at its own game. Sleek stores popped up on every corner. The app promised one-click lattes, and discounts were so generous it felt like they were paying you to drink. For a while, it worked. People were hooked, investors were thrilled, and every intern with a startup dream was taking notes. By 2019, Luckin was worth $12 billion, and investors called it the future of China's caffeine economy. But behind the espresso machines, the numbers were brewed from thin air. Executives forged receipts, invented fake customers, and inflated sales by over $310 million. Even the bestseller drinks were fake. They were never actually sold. In April 2020, the truth spilled, the stock crashed 80% in a day, and CEO Jenny Qian was fired while Charles Lu resigned as chairman. Luckin Coffee still sells coffee today, but nobody trusts what's in the cup. It's like the Office episode where Michael declares bankruptcy, except in Mandarin. Enron. Enron was basically the Wolf of Wall Street meets Silicon Valley, if both had been written by someone who didn't understand math. In the late 90s, the Houston-based energy company sold itself as the future. Smart, sleek, unstoppable. Think a startup founder who read The Art of War once and decided he was a genius. By the year 2000, it was worth over $70 billion and winning Most Innovative Company awards like it was collecting Infinity Stones. CEO Jeff Skilling and Chairman Ken Lay strutted around like rock stars in power suits, promising to revolutionize energy trading. Their secret sauce? Mark-to-market accounting, a fancy way to count profits from deals that hadn't even happened yet. It was corporate fan fiction, but with billions attached. Behind the scenes, they built shell companies to hide massive debt and keep the illusion alive. Then, in 2001, the truth dropped harder than Netflix canceling your favorite show. The stock plunged from $90 to $1. Employees lost everything. Executives vanished. Turns out you can't power a company on confidence alone. Eventually, the lights go out. WorldCom. If Enron was Breaking Bad, WorldCom was Better Call Saul. Same chaos, smaller budget. In the late 90s, the Mississippi-based telecom company was the darling of Wall Street. CEO Bernie Ebbers looked more like your grandpa than a corporate villain. But behind that friendly smile, he was cooking the books harder than Walter White in Season 5. The guy built an empire on long-distance calls. Remember those? And somehow convinced everyone he was reinventing the future of communication. When the dot-com bubble popped, profits vanished. So WorldCom decided to DIY its way out of trouble by pretending $3.8 billion in expenses were actually profits. Basically, they put glitter on garbage and called it gold. Investors cheered. Auditors nodded. For a company that made its fortune connecting people, it sure got disconnected from reality. Everyone felt brilliant for about 5 minutes. Then in June 2002, the truth exploded. The stock fell from $64 to 9 cents. 30,000 people lost jobs, and $180 billion evaporated. WorldCom proved that sometimes the villain doesn't wear a suit and twirl a mustache. Sometimes he just reclassifies your life savings in Excel. OneCoin. If crypto had a cult leader, it was Dr. Ruja Ignatova, a glamorous Bulgarian in sparkly dresses who promised to make everyone rich. In 2014, she launched OneCoin, calling it the Bitcoin killer. People bought in fast. Moms, students, even bankers, all convinced they were joining the future of money. She strutted on stage like Beyoncé with a PowerPoint, waving diamond rings and buzzwords in equal measure. There was just one tiny problem. OneCoin wasn't on any blockchain. It was fake from start to finish. Ruja packed arenas like a pop star, preaching financial freedom. Behind the scenes, billions poured in from over 175 countries, $4 billion in total. Even family WhatsApp groups turned into crypto seminars, everyone bragging about becoming millionaires next month. Investors showed off fake balances while Ruja flew private jets and hosted champagne parties. Then in October 2017, she vanished mid-flight, gone, just like the money. Her brother took over briefly before getting arrested. By 2019, OneCoin was exposed as a massive Ponzi scheme. The crypto queen stayed missing, the money never came back, and people learned. If your investment guru wears sequins and vanishes by jet, it's probably not decentralized. FTX. Remember when everyone said crypto was the future? Then FTX showed up and said, "Hold my beer." Sam Bankman-Fried, or SBF, the guy who looked like he coded his way out of bed, built FTX into a $32 billion crypto empire. He pitched himself as a genius who played League of Legends during investor calls. Yes, really. While raising hundreds of millions, he was jungling in Silver 4. Everyone bought it. Celebs endorsed him. Shark Tank's Kevin O'Leary called him the most brilliant trader I've ever met. Nas Daily made a video calling him the world's most generous billionaire. Turns out he was generous, just with other people's money. FTX was secretly funneling billions from customer accounts into SBF's trading firm, Alameda Research, which was run by his on-and-off girlfriend, Caroline Ellison. When the truth leaked in November 2022, FTX crashed faster than Bitcoin on bad news. Overnight, $8 billion vanished. SBF was arrested, and the Bahamas got its weirdest tourist ever. It was the Big Short, but with hoodies, memes, and way more crypto bros crying on Twitter. Bernie Madoff. Before FTX, before crypto, there was the OG scammer, Bernie Madoff. Think of him as the Thanos of fraud. One snap and $65 billion in fake wealth disappeared. Madoff wasn't some shady dude in a trench coat. He was the chairman of NASDAQ, a country club icon and your uncle's favorite safe investment guy. He promised steady returns, no drama, no risk, just calm profits while everyone else panicked. It was too smooth, too perfect, like if the Godfather opened a savings account. Everyone thought Bernie was the Vito Corleone of Wall Street, calm, wise, untouchable, but he turned out to be more like Fredo with a calculator. But behind the fancy suits and polite smiles, it was just a giant Ponzi scheme. No investments, no magic formula, just new money, paying old investors. When the 2008 financial crisis hit, withdrawals flooded in, and the illusion fell apart overnight. His spreadsheets looked like Sonny Corleone's car after the toll booth, full of holes and no chance of survival. He confessed to his sons over coffee. They called the FBI. Within days, Bernie was in handcuffs, and thousands of retirees were broke. His scam didn't just steal money, it stole trust. Wall Street never looked the same. The house of cards finally collapsed. Subscribe and leave a comment down below if you love money. I mean, who doesn't?